Welcome back, boys, to the lonely road. And some days it's not so lonely. And today we have partners, as always. We're here to join you on your journey to heal and become a better human. You guys have absolutely been blowing my fucking mind. Not that I should be saying that within the first 15 seconds of the show as I'm recording for YouTube, but thank you guys so much. We just did our largest month ever for this show by itself. We cleared 50,000 views just on YouTube and a total of about 75,000 views across all platforms, which is mind blowing. So that's huge.
That's pretty awesome. Thank you so much for everyone who watches.
Yeah. Yeah. As I said last week, like dealing with everything that I've been dealing with, watching those numbers kind of slowly increase and increase in what I expected them to be.
Yeah, the
That,
listeners as well. You don't need to see our faces. But those of you who are listening on a podcast, we appreciate you guys just as much.
it feels so good to finally just to clear 250,000 views in a month. That was just mind blowing to me to just be able to touch that number again, and it feels great. It just
Well,
feels
cheers.
fantastic.
Good. Good, good, good. And that's between all your podcasts. That's awesome. Good.
Just this and RMTS. My job itself does that every single week, but like these two shows are like my little babies. I love these things so fucking much. So
Yeah.
it feels good as they grow and feels good as they do things.
Absolutely. It's like it's like a kid, another child.
Yeah. No, and watching it do what I kind of expected it to do and kind of, oh, these things hit. And like the things that I know had a real big chance to hit, those things hitting feels even better because I'm watching views grow on things that I knew would kind of go viral and stuff, and watching all the titles, and it was funny.
Yeah, it's
Last
nice
uh
to
last
it's
week I
nice to
sent a
look
few
up.
titles
Yeah.
to my mom
Yeah.
before I started posting them, and she's like, "This is gonna be a bad one, isn't it?" I said, "No, I think this is gonna be a fantastic one." It was all of the feels just letting them go, and goddamn, it's been one hell of a week. Ah,
Nice, nice. It just gets more genuine, and I honestly think that that's what people crave. They just crave genuine. They crave authenticity, and that is sorely lacking in the world right now, to a grand degree, unfortunately.
yeah, and it's so hard not to give it to me. Like so many people are like, "Oh, just be slightly exaggerated or be a character," and it's like, I don't understand being a character. I am only this fucking weird dipshit. This is all I got. I have nothing else. I'm gonna keep
Yeah,
being this person. I can't do anything else. But yeah,
I am.
it's been a good positive week.
Yeah, for sure. Things are going positive for me as well. My job just moved locations. Uh, God, a couple years ago. It's been a couple years now. But I'm in a big office building, very tall, like a 20-story building. And before I moved to that, we were in a much, much, much less populated office building
Mhm.
in a different city, like a city on the lying
Yeah, I
parts of
got you.
Albany. So the word got around that this week we're changing actual like agencies that we work with. Like our department is changing like agencies,
Mhm.
and we have to move again. So we're moving
Ugh,
to a different office building, but it's only like 5 stories instead of. And that's nice for me because
it's
I
not a
think I
5 minute
mentioned.
fucking elevator.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, the elevators are very nervous in the office building that I work in right now. So yeah, I'm excited. That's happening. You know, things are
Oh,
moving. Life is life, and it just keeps coming and coming and coming and coming and coming. But the more you heal yourself, the better you can deal with all this crap.
yeah, and obviously I can't go fully into this stuff, but there's finally an answer on the table for everything that's gone on. And goddamn it, that feels fucking fantastic. Um, I cannot wait until I'm able to fully speak on everything that's gone on, especially stuff this week. there's been things that have happened that I probably will never forget for the rest of my life. I will be able to talk about some of it on the Real Men Talk Shit episode that will be recorded tomorrow. But as a whole, I am thoroughly excited for what's to come next because it feels like everything finally is just getting fucking answered, and I needed it to. And that feels so good that it's just finally starting to click away.
Mhm. Yeah, it's when you're just trying to do the right thing for yourself or for something else in your life. Um, it's really hard to continue to stay the course when you're not seeing immediate results, but it needs consistency. So it's amazingly it's amazing when it gets to the point where you're able to see that come to fruition, and get answered in
I
whatever
love
way it
that
gets answered, but get it's answered.
even today, being able to look at people and say, I don't fucking feel like I can trust any of this, any of these agencies, any of the court system, anything. I don't fucking trust you. I trust you as a person, but this entire fucking thing feels like it's failed me and this entire situation so many times. And it's just like it's finally starting to be able to be even somewhat held accountable. And there's this drastic of a change. It's like if you genuinely actually put in the energy and effort into these things and saw what I was showing you guys, drastically things would be different. And it's just like I wish that, I wish that I had this comfort to be able to speak like I do now then. Because goddamn, this level of comfort and this level of like, fuck everything, I'm flipping the table took a long time to get to. But it is weird when I'm finally able to keep stepping as I walk.
Yeah, imagine what your life would have been if you and I think about this often, what my life would have been if I was able to set the boundaries that I know how to set now earlier in life.
Yeah. Yeah. Those boundaries would be a really weird, different thing for me too.
Mhm,
It's like what happens if I actually tell my mom exactly how I need her to be at 15, 16 years old when we have Madison.
mhm,
Like, oh, I don't need you to overstep here and here. We're good here. Like, be a part of this here. It'd be so much easier to be able to draw those boundaries and like actually see growth in not only our relationship, but our friendship at that time. You know
mhm,
what I'm saying? Like, we would have been in such a healthier place and such a more understanding place as we grew if I was able to understand what a boundary was instead of just letting everybody walk all over me.
mhm.
I- And obviously, we had that conversation before, especially with the conversation when we decided we were going to keep her. And it's weird, especially having this conversation on her birthday. It's just it's weird as a whole that she's still fucking here. It's weird that it's been so long. It's weird. It's all of it's weird. But I'm so happy with where they are and how far they've come because they've done a lot.
Yeah, she's doing really well, specifically, let's talk about the birthday girl. She's doing really well. Pretty much a 180 from where she was heading, and the road
Yeah.
that she was headed down. So it's really great to see the healthy changes. Um, and she's a teenager. Teenagers will be teenagers. Um,
Yep.
but she's getting a pretty decent head on her shoulders. So and
Yeah.
that's commendable.
That's all I can do.
Yeah.
Allow them to handle what they need to handle and kind of be there for them and help them pick up the pieces whenever they can.
Yeah, because you can't, like, you wanted different things in your life. You want to do the things that you didn't get with your kids, but you don't want to overcorrect. You don't want to
Yep.
oversteer the ship either. We all learn from going forward, and we all heal. We all have things that we were going through at whatever time it happened, and everybody's got a point of view. It's just everybody would have been better off in their lives having been able to set boundaries or known what boundaries were earlier or
Yeah.
been allowed to set boundaries, because some kids weren't even allowed to set boundaries.
And
It
we
wasn't a
see
thing.
that with Madison's mom. Like she wasn't allowed to set boundaries. She didn't even have a fucking door for her room. So like as a whole, like
It's
and
crazy.
this really didn't come into play until I started dealing with being a single dad and having Ava all by myself was learning exactly how to handle this shit. Learning how to handle this shit was being the person I needed, not the person I had. Knowing, okay, this is where I struggled. This is what I struggled with. These are the things I was successful in. And how did I fucking do it? And why did I do it? And trying to like break down exactly how the fuck all this shit works. Because some of it was fucking valuable and some
Mhm.
of it was hell.
Yep.
It's just trying to put those pieces together and kind of realize exactly how all that shit flows together.
Absolutely. And I am a proponent for, even though it's hell, I feel like the hell is also beneficial because
Mhm.
it teaches you, number one, that you can go through it. You can do this. You know, there are things that happen in life that are ridiculously preposterous, and sometimes they happen to you without any catalyst, and sometimes they happen because it's a compilation of choices that you decided to make in your life. But either way, like, you are able to ask for the help that's needed to make that change
Yeah.
if you want
And to
to.
me, that was the hardest thing. And that's why, we talk about this group chat all the fucking time. And I can give nothing but all of the credit that I've dealt with this situation to that group chat, in all honesty. But like asking for help as a whole is still really fucking hard for me.
Yeah.
I struggle with it wholeheartedly.
Oh, I think it's
And
hard
not
for everybody. I mean,
like
most people.
it's hard when you struggle with not knowing exactly how much you should ask somebody.
Yeah, that's a big thing too. I mean, you know, you don't want to overstep your boundaries, and you don't want to be, you know, a burden on people. And I think that's a lot of the reasons why people don't ask for the help that they need, is that they don't want to be a burden on people. It could be that, or, it could be, not only that you don't want to bother people, but that you're embarrassed. You feel like a failure, you feel weak. I mean, that could be part of, one or all of the reasons why people don't ask for help, amongst others that I may not be, recalling right this moment. But I mean, it's just, asking for help is not as easy as, I mean, when it gets down to matters of emotions and things that people are not equipped to deal with. They don't know how to navigate these waters. They surf the waters until they learn how to navigate them. And sometimes it takes people, you know, sometimes people out the gate know how to deal with that stuff. And sometimes people are just completely lost on how to deal with emotions. And they're trying to deal with other things in life, but don't even think about the emotions of things and how it affects everything.
Yeah. And that was my biggest struggle. Even when I was super, super fucking dealing with mental illness in my teenage years, it was asking. It was I have this personality, this thing that everybody puts on me that I have to be, and I don't really know how to be that. And then also dealing with, all of this survivor's guilt and struggles and everything else. I didn't know how to ask for help and nobody wanted to like reach out and ask. So then I got into this big cycle of, nobody cares because nobody's asking, because nobody's seeing anything wrong. So it's just a big fucking cycle of nothing's wrong. And it just
Yeah.
grows and grows and grows.
Yeah. I mean, you can't, and also, I mean, there are things that, stand out to me in hindsight that would have made me ask what's going on, what's wrong. And had I not been in Utah, I would have seen more, and
Yeah.
maybe asked more questions. But at the time, to be honest with you, I was a loose cannon with my own emotions. I didn't know how to deal
Mhm.
with any emotions. They were just off like firecrackers, to be honest with you. So I didn't know how to help anybody else with their emotions because I wasn't taught how to deal with my own in that sense.
Yeah,
So
and
it's hard.
that's why it's hard because it's like, do I look at my childhood? And me and my mom were just having this conversation. Do I look at my childhood as like an abuse riddled problem? And I told her no. Like the one thing that she knocked it out of the park with was I was not physically abused. I was
Mm-mm.
not mentally abused, and I was not sexually abused by anybody in that house. It's like, yeah, there were problems elsewhere, but I can't put any of that on your shoulders.
Mm-mm.
But I told her, I
No.
was like, if we want to be honest, it's little things of neglect here and there, and then it grows into a bigger and bigger problem. Like, can you put any other title on it? Not really. And it's like, whether it's ignorance and not understanding what the problem is, or just, little things that you don't fully comprehend when you're a parent or a different time parent, and you're told all of these problems like mental health really doesn't exist. It's hard to kind of grasp. It's hard to kind of change and understand exactly where everything is and what you actually have to change.
Well, yeah, especially when you're, you're learning. Nobody's teaching you, so you're learning
Mhm.
from scratch. The old generation didn't teach you. They didn't. They were more staunch. The baby boomers. They were very much. No, we're not going to talk about these foo-foo feelings. We're not gonna. We're gonna act right. We're not, but we're not gonna deal with this.
Yeah.
And it's not something that was taught from generation to generation. So each generation's learning this shit from scratch. And I think that's just bunk because you should be able to pass on that knowledge to make the next generation better. Why wouldn't you want the next generation, your children to be better, know how to deal
Yeah.
with things earlier?
And that's okay. So I'm not trying to sound egotistical when I say any of this. This is just all off the top of my head. I have one note. It says asking for help, and I completely went blank. And then KJ joined, and we talked for 5 minutes. So just roll with me here. Not trying to sound egotistical, but it's almost like the place that I was actually put in when I came back and started building the circle around me and bringing everybody back in and fixing the situation and everybody being around and stuff. It's like putting those things back together put me in that place to make everybody around me better. And it's weird because it's like when I came back, everybody was struggling. Now everything's kind of all getting molded into one and everybody's fucking excelling almost. And I don't know if it's just my energy towards everything and everybody's like, Zach's fucking fun to be around and he's excitable, or if I'm genuinely helping people, or it's a little bit of both. And I don't really know,
Well,
but
I
I
think that
kind of hope
it's
that it's a little bit.
I'm sure it's a little bit of both, but honestly, you have to give everybody in their own credit, I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
you have um a great knack for bringing people together. Your grandmother had that knack for bringing people together. There aren't
Mhm,
many people that have that knack for like taking the people that they love, whether they like each other or not, and bringing them
mhm.
together. And for some reason, you do. But at the
Oh,
same
I'm definitely the people person.
not just but at the same time, those people also need credit because
Yeah.
there are some of us
Oh,
that just don't get along, but we are.
I'm just
And
saying, like, me bringing everybody together almost made everybody have a floor to like ride on and know that they can stand up from there. It's just kind of weird. Like, if you look at 2, 3 years ago when everything started coming back together, that floor was shaky under fucking everybody, including me. And then as we stand up together, all of a sudden everybody sort of connects and it just releases. And it's
well,
just
it's
like,
not
okay, everything.
exactly. It's togetherness,
Yeah.
it's the being able to use the platform of the family unit, and move forward even after being so broken.
Yeah.
And you have to I give great, I give all of us, a great amount of credit for being able to put
Mhm.
aside, things that had happened, earlier in life and just be able to move forward, talk about the things that we need to talk about, resolve the things that we need to resolve, ask for the help that we need to have, and if we want the people in the family to be involved, great, but we're
And it
able to
seems
move
like
forward.
once I had those conversations myself, like once I started speaking and saying, "Mom, this is what the issue was. KJ, this is what the issue was. Kayla, this is what the issue was. Katie, this is what the issue was." They learned how to have those conversations themselves with the people that they had problems with. And like that growth from me kind of helped them see how to grow themselves.
That happens
And
with everybody.
yeah,
It's like that ripple effect.
I guess
You
it's
through
just hard to realize. And I'm not trying to step on your toes. It's just hard to realize from my seat at the table that other people are also doing that. You're good. I wasn't trying to step on your toes. I was just trying to get the point out there.
That's fine. Yeah. I really feel like everybody has um their strengths in the group process. Like the f- the f- the fam- the the s- what I'm everybody has their strengths, and we're bringing the strengths to the table. Now individually, we're not we are we are individually, but coming
Mhm.
together as a support system, it makes us all stronger to be able to deal with those things. And it's like a ripple effect of, like you throw a stone in the water and all those ripples go. Well, if one person is healing, they're going to be able to give the people around them without even like acting in an educational manner, just giving them the ability and the tools and maybe even the permission to set those boundaries and to make those strides that they didn't really think about before. And if you're making those improvements and enhancements in your life, that's going to radiate to the people around you. Same thing's happening with me. And as I'm growing and I'm going through therapy and I'm doing my things, my family is getting healthier and the people around me are, being able to move differently. It's a ripple effect and it goes around. The more that you work it, the more that you're able to see that everybody has that special thing that makes it work, that makes it so
And I
strong.
and I didn't see that that's how everybody saw it too. Like I didn't see that me moving even, 7 years ago when I pulled away completely to fix myself. I didn't see that there was positive impact on others. I hoped that there was. And then when I came back, it's like, okay, I start speaking and everything kind of, holy shit, things start working better. It was weird to realize that other people were doing those things too. When you're struggling in these situations, how do you ask people for help? Because like I struggle being comfortable enough to ask even people for like necessity things. Even when I was a kid, I struggled.
I didn't, I don't, I didn't. I've never asked until recently. I've never realized or thought that I needed to. And then when I knew I needed to, I didn't really feel like I was worth it. So I didn't. And I just festered in it. So when it came to the point of me actually hurting myself unintentionally, I didn't mean to do that, but that was the result of it all. Um, it was a big eye opener. It was definitely an event for me. It was a turning point, if you will, and it allowed me to. I don't know what it opened up, but it opened up something in me that made me realize that I needed the medication that I hated, and I only hated it because I became addicted to a narcotic, um, and it soured me to everything. Like when I go through something, it's almost like the pendulum swings way too far the other way.
Mhm.
And it happens a lot in my life, so that's something that I'm working on as well. But in any event, it was hard for me to ask for help. But when I realized when it clicked um, that I needed it, and the people around me were being affected so greatly, and it broke my heart. that
When you
my
struggle,
my problems were affecting people so greatly. So that's what made me reach out for the help uh, that I didn't think I needed or that I thought I could work through on my own.
when you struggle with a situation like that, and you're like, you're not really sure exactly how everything's going, and you're like, I wanted to stay away from this medication. I didn't want to fuck around with it. I wanted to stay away. Does feeling the pain or the struggle or whatever you're dealing with help you feel like it's real? Or does like taking the medication and numbing it make it so you kind of can't fix it? Is
I
that like what you told
I'm
yourself?
not numbed by the medication. That's the difference is that it takes and it puts like an oven mitt over it so that I don't get burned. But if you still feel the heat,
Mhm.
but you don't get burned. You still feel warmth. And so that's kind of how I can equate this feeling. I'm on a very, very low dose. So and it's not the narcotic medication. I'm not on a rescue medication
Yeah.
like a Xanax or a Klonopin or anything like that. So that's what I didn't want to go back on. That's what I was fearful of because that's what get starts addiction and the
And it
dependence
burned
and
you.
then the addiction. Yeah. And it did. It made me it flipped me and instead of chilling me out, it made me angry when I didn't have it. And that's when I realized that I was addicted and I ended up like taking myself off all my medication, weaning myself, of course, not going directly off it. Please don't do that. But I went off it and I was off it for a good 2 years before, shit happened in February.
My ex had a seizure in Walmart. She was with the kids and the I guess her script wasn't up yet for like 2 days or something. And she was out of pills like 3 days before this. And this was like the first time she got down to Walmart. She ended up having a seizure in the middle of Walmart with the kids, with her parents, because they weren't prescribing her medication yet. It's like this stuff really isn't something to screw around with. And that line of like making it so where you're able to handle it and you're able to ask for help and you're able to fix yourself and put yourself back together is where you should be.
Yeah.
You don't take Tylenol to get rid of the symptoms. You take Tylenol to deal with the problems so that way you're okay enough to put it back together. And that's where I think like the entire world almost has changed with how they look at medication. For so long it was this fix all and this way to, patch everybody back together and keep going when that's not how it should be used. It should be used as a way to help you and ask for help and put the things back together and heal those things as you move forward
Right.
and not something that just, patches a fucking hole and hope that it doesn't spring a leak again.
Yeah, absolutely. I should have been more diligent in making sure that I dealt with my problems in the 25 years I was on the medication,
Mhm.
while I was using it for the anxiety attacks, and not taking it just to make sure I didn't have an anxiety attack. Being able to not numb myself out because I did with that stuff. It did numb me out. But right
Yeah.
now it's like an oven mitt. So I'm able to still feel the feelings. I mean, as you can see, I still teared up, but it wasn't like before, like the very first episodes we started, you could see a complete difference in my demeanor, in the leakiness, the crying constantly. At least I can be able to take a breath. I can be able to still feel things. I still have my feelings. I definitely still feel. But if you get on too much of it, if I went up a couple doses, I could definitely see this shit numbing you out, graying
Yeah.
everything. I absolutely can see that, but that's not my experience in it. Thank God.
Well, absolutely fantastic. And you can see that you were questioning if you wanted to talk about you. You could see you struggling. Like I cut you off, and then all of a sudden, it like short circuits, and you're like, I'm not sure if I'm going to say this, and then you see it come out, and all of a sudden, you realize that it's okay. You realize that it's okay to hold yourself accountable to what you did before, and say that you're not going back there, and you're able to ask for help and hold yourself accountable in a way that, you really weren't sure if you were going to. And there's a lot of times that we'll sit here and we'll talk about it or we'll talk about something and you'll be like, damn, I didn't expect you to go there. And it's like, yeah, well, it's either filter or no filter. And there really is no in between. And it's weird when you realize that, we may not be able to ask for help for every little thing that we feel like we need to. But as a whole, if you think about it, we help more people than what we talk to on a daily basis. Even if one of these episodes helps one person, I'm thoroughly thankful. I will keep doing this until the day I die if that's what I need to do. But like, I say this towards everybody. If you have my phone number or you have available contact to me and you call me because you're saying that you need help to be here instead of, ending it, I'd rather you fucking call. I don't want to get a call that you're not here. Ask for the help and somebody's going to fucking be there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We do this because we realize that it's hard. It's hard to ask for help. It's hard to get past that shame and to build your self-esteem back up from uh, abuse or a trauma or what have you. But people don't usually ask for the help, so that's why we decided that we wanted to do this so that we could just offer it, put it out there, and make it consumable for people. And it seems to be ramping up, which is just amazing because people are just craving the authenticity and the experiences. It's going back to and piggybacking off asking for help. When you do ask for help, make sure that first of all, realize you need it. Obviously, you have to realize you need it before you can even ask for it. And then finding out who around you can ask for, whether it's a family member, a friend, or a professional. Um, you know, be honest with it, with yourself.
Mhm.
Get the help, actually go to the appointment, or actually talk to those people, or actually go get those resources, consume those resources, and let them help you. And be honest with the people that you're accountability, whoever you are, you know, doing life with, doing this accountability, this journey with. Because if you're not
That to
honest
me
with
is the
yourself,
first step.
yeah. If you're not honest about why you need this help, or if I don't need it, I don't need help, I don't need therapy. People are all, you know, I don't know one person in life that can't deal with good dose therapy to find true north, because there's tornadoes and hurricanes all over, all kinds of weather, all kinds of courses trying to knock you off, and you have to continue to find that true north and make the changes. Accept the help, accept the suggestions, weigh what's best for you, and make the changes. You have to go through the whole process. You can't get caught up in the net of the feelings or the process of it all.
Yeah. And that's the interesting part to me is like if you look at what everybody says the Narcotic Anonymous and the AA and all that shit is like find your morality, find your religion and everything else. I don't think that that's the answer personally, but for some people it is because they're not strong enough to understand how to be accountable and honest with themselves. I never had either of those problems, and I'm fucking thankful I haven't because I just don't have that kind of personality. But I've watched it tear apart so many people. And to me, that first answer is being fucking honest about it, but not applauding yourself. Is just that. You're not just, you're not an adulterer. You're not somebody who sleeps with everybody. You're not an alcoholic. You're not somebody who abuses drugs. You're a human.
It's not the
And if
total
you
of who
just
you are.
Yeah. Ask for help. Be honest about what you're struggling with. Be honest about even if it's a stupid fucking question. Find the people that you're able to be 110% honest with, completely transparent, regardless of if you're in the right and the wrong, and say it without a fucking filter. Because if you're filtering everything to the people that you're asking for help, just looking for, acceptance and oh, attaboy, you're not doing the right fucking thing. You're
You
not.
also need to, words are important though. You have to articulate yourself correctly. You can't just without filter just go at it and be hurtful and harmful in people that you're asking for help.
Oh,
It could
I see asking is so different. Like,
Yeah, it's just
you guys to me are my filter.
yeah.
You guys, I feel like I can be completely transparent of like, this is my thoughts. This is everything I'm dealing with. This is what's going on. How do I handle it? Because something just doesn't feel right here and here. I'm kind of lost. If I was shaded and I try and like hide my feelings or hide what I did in the situation, you guys are going to call me the fuck out.
Mhm.
And I don't know if that's how everybody likes it, but personally, that's how I like accountability completely. I'd
Well,
rather be
absolutely. You have to
completely
be
transparent.
complete transparency because where there isn't complete transparency, there is absolute fuckery happening. And
Mhm.
you can probably count on that 99.9% of the time, my friend. And it's it absolutely is. You don't yeah, it's got to be transparent. But at the same time, you can tell your truth. You can tell all of the truth. You can tell it raw. You can have that group of people, so that you can filter yourself to be how you need to be for things to land in other areas. Like, for instance, the chat is the filter, and then you do things and write your documents and do your other
I
stuff.
need I
But
need
you
the place
can't,
to be, raw. If I'm not
yeah,
raw with you guys, then there's going to be fuck slipped through on legal documentation, and we have a big problem then.
right. So you should not be shooting from the hip to everybody. You need to find your circle. You need to
Yeah,
find the circle of people that you are going to be completely 100% honest about with, and they know your heart, they know your soul, so they're not going to take you wrong like the rest of the world may, and probably will. The internet will tear you apart for something you can tell this circle of 3 4 people to, and they'll know exactly what you mean. But other people
yeah,
will call you names going forward for life.
yeah.
You'll be canceled.
Personally,
Yeah.
I see it exactly like Joey Diaz says. I don't need 50 motherfuckers. I need 3 motherfuckers. I need 3 motherfuckers that if I pick this up and I press a button, the problem's either handled or I got somebody that has my back in handling it. Or will absolutely call me a jackass if I need somebody to call me a jackass.
And
And
that's
will stand
important.
behind me and push my fucking emotions if my emotions need to stay in something.
That's just as important. Have that group of people so that you can hone yourself and take in all the information from the different people who have those different skills and those different great qualities about them. You have it all, you get to take it all in, and then you get to present yourself to the world the way you'd like to present yourself to the world. And sometimes that's not as raw as you can be with those people that are in that close knit circle.
Yeah.
Yep.
And honestly, as always, we understand this road's fucking lonely,
It can be. Yes.
but fucking stand up, find your people, find the people that you need to be around and, put it back together because guess what? It's fucking fixable.
Yeah.
This thing that we call life is a puzzle and a game that every single one of us are fucking playing. And there's an answer. It doesn't have to be one specific answer, but there's answers of how to do it, get through it. And more than likely, everybody around you has been through something similar. So look at it, figure it out because it's able to be figured out. It's
Yep. You don't have
okay.
to stay stagnant. You don't
Keep
have to stay
walking.
stagnant. Move forward. Yep.
We'll
Cheers.
see you next time.
See you next week.